Hello summoners and welcome back to another ProGuides video. My name is Irene and today we'll be discussing 7 scenarios that will test your game knowledge in League of Legends. If your rank is below Challenger, then chances are that you'll get at least a few of these questions wrong. However, if you end up acing all 7 questions, then it's probably a good indication that you're a lot better at League than you think. Also, we want to give a quick shout out to a Challenger player named Nidhogg who provided us with all these scenarios. He mentioned that these examples really tested his decision making and game knowledge, so trust me, you're gonna want to watch till the very end. We're gonna leave links to his Twitch stream down below in case you want to follow him for some more informative content. Also, if you're not already subscribed here to our YouTube channel, make sure you do that so you can rightfully comment first and stay in the loop about whatever knowledge we're dropping. You don't want to miss out. Now, let's jump right into the video. You're playing on red side as Sylas Jungle, and it's about 3 minutes and 20 seconds into the game. Your early pathing consisted of red to Krugs to Raptors to blue, and now you're looking to clear the Scuttle Crab. The enemy Graves just ganked bottom lane and blows his flash but gets nothing in return. You are then able to sneak the bot crab by kiting it towards the mid lane and smiting it for the kill. Graves trails behind you and starts running towards mid lane to contest the opposite crab at the topside river. Mid lane has your allied Syndra versus Diana at an equal position. Top lane has your allied Gnar versus enemy Set, where Gnar is pushing him into tower. Should you A. Run straight towards the topside crab to contest it against the flashless Graves, B. Call for your Syndra to bait out the transition gank from Graves and counter gank it, C. Once Graves passes by the mid lane, gank the bot lane to match his pressure on the opposite side of the map, or D. Clear your bot side camps, then recall and path towards your topside camps which are respawning. The correct answer is A, because you can leverage your position to muscle Graves out of a free crab and force him back to his own jungle, giving you a nice second topside clear after reset. B is unlikely to work because you showed earlier, so Graves would be on alert. Plus, Syndra stun isn't a guaranteed kill if Graves plays around Diana properly. C doesn't work because bot lane just got ganked and they're now on low health bars. So choosing this option basically negates any sort of gank opportunity because your allies can't easily assist you. Option D is the second best choice, but it's not optimal because you're conceding a second Scuttle Crab when you don't need to, and that crab has a lot of value to high tempo early junglers like Graves. Scenario 2. Your blue side playing as Lucian Janna bot lane versus Kai'Sa Nautilus. It's 10 minutes in and they're up in gold after an early gank from their Rammus. You can see them starting to freeze near their tower. Your top lane Kennen is punishing their Riven and your jungle Kha'Zix is hovering in that area in a bush with vision on the topside jungle. Mid lane is in a stalemate and it looks like neither will be rotating anytime soon. You should A. Call your jungler down to help break the freeze. You're steadily bleeding out and potentially winning a fight could be the recovery that you need. B. Your top lane is pushing in, so you try to break the freeze yourself since you know their jungler is most likely looking to gank that side. If you get the jump on them in the middle of all those minions, it could lead to a fair fight. C. Recall back to your base for the reset, then rotate to Herald with your team and ping them to help you take it. That way you can use it to crack open top lane. Or D. Send your support to roam and help other lanes while you just play safe and try to soak EXP to make the best of a bad situation. C is the correct answer here, as this is the common choice for bot lanes that know they're going to get frozen on for a while. This forces the enemy team to continue to freeze while you utterly shatter top lane or look for a push themselves and they end up resetting the lane in an attempt to trade plates. This move alleviates pressure and enables your team to take up a wider range of formations on the map to counter the enemy. Option A is bad, because the 3v3 your team has with your champ won't win against the enemy 3v3, and calling Kha'Zix down from the top side ruins the game's tempo. Option B is suboptimal, because a fair 50-50 fight isn't a great choice. And option D is possibly the worst of the bunch. Roaming as a support is fine in between waves, but you don't want to do it during a freeze, when there's so much on the table. It's much better to look for a team play in this scenario than gambling on putting yourselves further behind. You're playing as Trundle top. It's about 8 minutes into the game and everyone is hitting level 7 and 8. You see that both mid lanes have roamed down towards bot in a response to a series of events. The enemy bot lane pushed up past the midpoint in the lane in an attempt to trade, so your bot lane reciprocated cooldowns because your team's jungler was there to assist. Your team's jungler engages hard, but their team's jungler was waiting to counter gank and the dog pile begins. The mid laners start moving immediately, but the fate of the fight is ambiguous, and there doesn't seem to be a clear winner. Your lane opponent starts to channel TP into the center of the fight, so your team instinctively clicks backwards. You don't have a flank ward or any opportunity to TP behind, only onto the wave or the tower. Should you A. Run up to melee range, pillar to cancel the TP, then fight Riven in a 1v1, leaving your team to fight the 4v4 in hopes of getting a solo kill and potentially some plates. B. TP into the battle because your team needs you. C. Pillar the enemy Riven and TP there yourself to turn the battle because you'll be fighting a 5v4. Or D. Let her TP while you tell your team to retreat and then take plates while your opponent is bot lane. The correct choice for this one is option D. If no one is under threat of getting caught or dying, the fight could be entirely disengaged by the time she gets there. There's plenty of time to spot her TP and decline the fight. Communication is important here, of course, so make sure you ping where she's TPing so your team knows for sure what's going on. Option A isn't ideal because your team should notice her coming, and they can't get dived 5v4 this early on. If Riven leaves though, you're free to grab some of that tasty turret plating. Option B isn't the smartest because there are too many variables with this fight. If something is ambiguous, don't take the 50-50. They're solo queue killers. Option C, and the one I imagine a lot of you chose, because it's fun to crush your enemy's plans, is wrong. Because first of all, your TP could just be as ineffective as Riven's. More importantly though, Riven can just turn around and stop your TP, just like you stopped hers. And then you're both sad. You're Ornn, and you just turned level 14, unlocking your team masterwork item. Enemies keep barely getting away in teamfights, so you need as much raw damage as you can get. Whose item do you upgrade? With the goal of maximizing damage in mind, should you A. Upgrade Jarvan's Black Cleaver, B. Upgrade LeBlanc's Luden's Echo, C. Upgrade Lucian's Blade of the Ruined King, D. Upgrade Braum's Redemption? If you answered A here, you're incorrect. If you answered C here, you are also incorrect. And if you answered D here, I'm glad you're here, because clearly you need guidance. That means by process of elimination, the correct answer was not B either, because it was a trick question. Proper choice to upgrade would be LeBlanc's Rabadon's Death Cap, because you gain superior AP. And for those of you that don't know, if you want to choose which item gets upgraded, simply move that item into your first slot before Ornn starts forging. Knowledge is power, just not as much power as an upgraded Rabadon's. That's way more powerful. It's early in the game, and you're Orianna, and it's around 1 minute and 40 seconds on the blue side. The opposing mid lane champion is Zoe, and the enemy jungler is Xin Zhao. Using your huge brain, you look at the minimap like you normally do every 3 seconds, and you notice the enemy Pantheon has arrived to lane late. Being the excellent gamer you are, who is well practiced in using their F keys to swap the camera, you quickly check top lane and see that Pantheon is missing some mana. You then check bottom lane and notice that they were already at the wave pushing for level 2. Your jungler said that they wanted to do red-blue Gromp and enter the topside around 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Your 2-minute macrovision plan from here is A. Don't worry for about a minute because junglers need to clear to get level 3, so you're safe for a bit. Ward the left bush at around 2 minutes and 30 seconds because they should be around level 3 by now and you want to be safe. B. Hug the right side because they probably started red buff, so you need to avoid a level 2 gank. Look to ward above that left side middle bush around 2 minutes and 15 seconds to peek into the raptor entrance opposite of red bush area, then hug that side. C. Hug right side because they probably started red buff, so you need to avoid a level 2 gank. Look to ward right side middle bush in case of a gank at 2:15 to prevent a right side gank. Then hug the left side after dropping the ward. D. Hug left side because a fake leash where the top laner does damage on purpose whilst the jungler does a bot side start solo without a leash into level 2 gank can be avoided. The correct choice here is option B. Seeing that the enemy top laner is missing some mana combined with the bot laners being at lane early tells you that the enemy jungler is starting on red side. The ward placed near Raptors both alerts you to an early gank attempt that might come from the red side, and it tells you if they're going for a full red side clear by doing red Krugs Raptors. It gives you all the information you need. Option A is almost the right idea, but it doesn't give you as much information as you could have, and doesn't include the better lane positioning of option B. Option C is wrong because even though you're clearly positioned away from a level 2 gank, your ward has left you vulnerable to a level 3 gank after a full red side clear. Finally, option D is wrong just because it's incredibly unlikely, especially in lower elo. Very little in League is 100% guaranteed, so we have to come to whatever option is most likely. You could Gigabrain the enemy's decoy like this, but there's just such an incredibly small chance of it happening, so it's not worth it.
You're facing a late game Dragon Soul fight where both sides have 3 dragons and are more or less equal. This objective is paramount, and Baron is down. Both sides have 1 open inhib. You're red side and have 0 vision of the pit, but Dragon Soul will spawn in 30 seconds. Mid lane is at an equal position, but the enemies are nowhere to be seen. In order to approach this dragon properly, you should A. Walk straight through the jungle with your front line first and be ready to fight. B. Get mid priority by shoving as 5, then approach the dragon through mid lane. C. Forget the dragon, go get that open inhib. D. Try to loop around the back of the pit and then engage from bottom tri-brush once they start it. That way, you can catch them off guard. The correct answer here is option B, as it grants you the widest point of entry to the dragon rather than trying to face check a choke point. A doesn't really work because they could easily just death bush you in the choke point with their wombo combo. C isn't an awful thought, but ultimately you're just stalling out the game. It's better to take the even fight at dragon than to give it away for free and then have to avoid physical contact with the enemy for a few minutes. D is again a decent thought, but if they pull the dragon out of the pit, you'll be in trouble, since you're now in an awkward spot where you basically have to go for the steal instead of the straight up fight, and your team is more likely to be scattered about while their team is fully grouped up.
In the early game, around 1 minute and 20 seconds or so, as one of these 3 red side junglers, you see the enemy Olaf and Shen start late invading you through a ward in the river. You have a Darius on your side, and you have a Kayle versus Kassadin matchup in the mid lane. They're oblivious and seem to be just running in as you watched your jungle entrance through the aforementioned ward. You have to make a snap decision. What play gives you the best odds of turning this around? A. Contest the red and fight the enemy invade with your vision and first move advantage. B. Walk away and do the Raptors to deny the easy red buff to Raptors clear from Olaf. C. Wait in the bush and try to kill them or steal the red after they start it. Or D. Concede the red buff and just look to either invade their red side or start your blue, with blue being the safer option. If you're Gragas, you take option B, because you're the only one out of the 3 junglers that can actually do Raptors in a fast enough way that isn't a poor choice. This will give your Darius time to come to your aid as well, if it seems like that will pan out. If you're Rengar, you can choose between A and C, but A is the superior choice. C is safe, it's the chill, wait, and see call, but players in the upper percentages of League can factor not just their pick, but the whole composition. Rengar has an incredibly strong level 1, especially with Darius, since they both have an auto attack reset. Olaf will win in extended trades if he was smart enough to take W level 1, but it won't even get that far if you take the initiative and you jump immediately. If you're Jarvan, you're unfortunately relegated to option D. Jarvan isn't that strong at the beginning of the game, so you're gonna have to just concede the buff and go straight to your blue since that's the 100% play available to you. Alright guys, that's going to conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to check out ProGuides.com as well as our YouTube channel for some more informational content aimed at taking your game to the next level. Drop a like or comment and make sure to subscribe to stay updated with our content as well. And until next time, best of luck on the Rift Summoners.